I'm so happy right now. Me too. Being here with you means everything. The grandfather clock in the hall answered with a low, resonant chime, its echo rippling through the hollow quiet that followed the evening's goodbyes. The air still smelled faintly of burnt sugar and coffee. It was the kind of silence that settles like dust, slow and deliberate, on everything that's left behind once the laughter fades. My daughter, Chloe, stood by the mantelpiece, tracing the rim of an old photograph with her finger. The last flicker of lamplight caught in her eyes, a gaze both searching and softened, as if she were trying to see the woman beneath the mother for the first time. She had been quiet all evening, quieter than usual. Her cousin's chatter had filled the house, but Chloe, always the observer, had stayed in the background, watching, listening, storing something away. I turned toward the small, practical comforts, folding linen napkins, stacking plates, pretending motion could delay reflection. "You should head home, sweetheart," I said, my voice light but wavering. "Long day, especially after all those compliments on your lemon cake." She smiled faintly, stepping closer, her hands buried in the pockets of her dress. "It's nice to be here," she said. There was a calm weight to her tone, measured, like she'd rehearsed the words. We started with the usual small talk. The weather, her uncle's endless supply of novelty ice cream, but beneath the surface, something unsaid began to hum. When I finally turned to face her, I caught the subtle tension around her mouth, that tiny quiver she gets when holding back more than she's ready to say. "You seem different tonight," she murmured. "Different?" I tried to laugh, though the sound barely reached the air. "Not bad different, just lighter, like you stopped running that list in your head." I wanted to say it was the champagne, but she knew better. So I poured us 2 glasses of the leftover cider and sat with her on the couch, the same couch that had held half the family only hours ago. Now, the space between us carried the entire weight of the years we'd both spent pretending we were fine. As she spoke about work, about the books she'd been meaning to read, her voice slowed into something more vulnerable. I felt the edges of the moment blur. For once, I wasn't her fixer, her listener, her quiet audience. I was just a woman sitting beside her daughter, being seen. Eventually, she exhaled and said, "I'm not ready to leave yet." The words fell like a pebble into still water, small but endlessly expanding. I froze, waiting for her to elaborate, but she didn't. Just looked at me, her expression steady, certain. "Okay," I whispered. "Then stay." And something inside me, something long dormant, shifted. "Mom?" she said softly. "I need to tell you something I should have said a long time ago." The years stretched. Between us, school recitals, scraped knees, her father's laughter echoing from the kitchen. All of it lined up, fragile and distant. "Since Dad passed," she began, "I thought I had to be strong for you. I didn't want to add to your weight, so I stayed quiet. But silence made it heavier, didn't it?" Her voice trembled. She looked down at her hands, grown, capable hands, and I realized how much of her childhood I had spent rushing through, repairing instead of resting. "I should have been more present," she said. "I didn't know how to be there without you asking." "And I didn't know how to ask," I admitted. "I thought asking meant failing. I've always been the one who holds things together, even when I'm falling apart." She smiled, that small, sad kind of smile that understands too much. "Yeah, I think I learned that from you." I took a breath. "I'm scared sometimes too," I confessed. "Scared that one day I'll lose you to that armor we both wear. That you'll come by and I won't recognize you anymore." Silence filled the room again, but this time it felt different. Alive. Waiting. Then she whispered, "Mom, I want to carry what's mine." And I knew instantly that I had been waiting my whole life to hear that. Later, she told me about the fellowship offer in the city. The word leaving pressed cold against my ribs, but her eyes were warm, hopeful. "I didn't want you to think it meant abandoning you," she said. "For a second I did," I admitted. "But moving isn't erasing, it's just shifting. We can still build what matters." "Together?" she asked. "Always." I smiled. "We'll make Sundays ours. No phones, no chores, just stories. The little ones that keep life honest." She nodded, her shoulders easing. "I'd like that." We talked until the light thinned into sleepiness. Before leaving, she draped a blanket over my feet, just as I used to for her when she was small. "I think when I said I wasn't ready to leave," she murmured, "I meant more than tonight. I meant this. Us. Like this. Honest. I don't want to lose it." "Me neither," I said. "Let's keep it." When she finally stood, she did so with the peace of someone who knew she could always return. At the door, she turned back, eyes glimmering in the dim light. "One more thing," she said. "I love you." Not the routine version, the kind that lands. "I love you too," I replied. The door closed softly behind her, and the house fell quiet again. But the silence had changed shape. It wasn't emptiness anymore. It was light, rearranged. Later, lying in bed, I thought about how love transforms, how once it was bedtime stories, and now it was courage spoken softly on a couch. Maybe the real surprise of the night wasn't a confession, but the bravery it took to say what still mattered. Tomorrow, I'd text her a picture of the old clock in the hall and ask if she wanted to polish it Sunday. She'd come, cloth in hand, and we'd work in the quiet, present, imperfect, and entirely human. Because sometimes, the most powerful words aren't the ones that end things. They're the ones that begin again.